welcome to campus of Rockingham Community College. We do appreciate you all taking some time out of your day today for orientation. I'm Sean Cable, I'm the Director of Education Partnerships, that we hope will help you have a great start to the semester. Our goal is we want you to be successful in your classes here. We want the start to the semester to go well, and we want you to have everything that you need to get started off on the right footing, okay? So, what we're going to do, first thing in just a second, I'm going to talk to you about the folders that you have. We're going to do some CCP Q&A, just some questions over the years that students have had and parents have had. We're going to touch on those things. You're going to get your RCC account, which is extremely important, email, and Moodle is our version of Canvas, so you're going to get that today. And then after it's all said and done, those of you who have classes on campus, if you want to do a tour, you can do a tour, okay? All right, it's helpful to kind of understand a little bit about the classes, so we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. So basically this program is a tuition-free program for families. So that's why your parents are like, you know, their classes, they're tuition-free, okay? Okay, so they're tuition-free. If you do well in your classes, you have the opportunity for those credits to transfer to here at RCC, any of our UNC system schools, and about 30 private colleges and universities. Get that tuition free. So that's why they're wanting you to do that. It also helps you to get a head start on college, because you know that's what you want to do. So that's why you're here. So it's tuition free, but it's not totally free. Parents, you are responsible for fees that are associated with taking the class. And if you attend any other school other than Rockingham, Reedsville, and Michael Moorhead, then you're responsible for this. So like I said, they're tuition free. You don't pay the tuition as a parent, but guess who does? State of North Carolina. And because they pay the tuition, they tell us how the program runs. So we have pathways. Your child is on a pathway. We're going to talk about the college transfer pathway first. On this pathway, this is designed for students that they know they want to go to a university or college once they graduate. The courses that are part of this pathways, there's different options. The most common ones are Associate in Science and Associate in Arts. Scholars will put the course sequence so you can kind of see. So these are all very similar. So when you go to a university, your first 60 hours, first 2 years of classes is more what we call general education courses. More English, more math, more science. Any parents have been to the university, you know what I'm talking about? Histories, you do all of that. So these are designed to help you get some of those out of the way. We have an articulation agreement with University of North Carolina system. If you make a C or better in any of these classes, they transfer to the university as is. That means when you get there, you don't repeat the class. That means, Mom and Dad, that's one less class that you have to pay for. Okay? So that's the benefit of doing it. That's why your counselors think you're a good candidate to do it. That's why parents are wanting to do it. Another great thing that can happen from this is we have some classes. You can scroll down to the math, Ms. Galloway. The math, for those of you that are in public schools, you have to do 4 maths to graduate, right? You got math 1, 2, and 3. Math you take with us can count. It gives you 4 credits of college, and it also gives you that 1 math credit. So we have the options for some of these things to give you dual credit. So you're earning your high school graduation credits and some college credit at the same time. Okay? So that's the advantage of doing the college transfer pathway. So when you come in to see us for classes going forward, the first thing we're going to do is look and see what pathway you're on. Because remember, the state government dictates how this works. You have to take classes on your pathway, so that's why we'll be referring to that. Now, the other pathway is career technical, and Ms. Galloway will talk about that.
For those pathways, do we have any students in here that are currently registered for our welding courses? Okay, what about machining, HVAC? Okay. These classes allow students an opportunity to jumpstart their career to see if this is something that they actually want to do or interested in doing upon completing high school. When you click on one of the pathways, welding, when you click on the pathways, it actually shows you the classes that you can take. So for the welding student that's in here, you'll take these 2 classes in the fall, and those classes start August the 15th. And then in the spring, you will take these 2 additional classes. As you see here, once you complete that, that's a total of 16 credit hours on the college credits. However, that is only 4 elective credits on the high school side. With that being said, students that complete this pathway, they do earn a certificate, and you have an opportunity to participate in the our graduation if you sign up for it. With these pathways, students that are in the college transfer, because the majority of you guys are here in the college transfer pathways, if you see something that is of interest to you within this list of pathways that's available, then you are absolutely welcome to take classes from a CTE pathway and a college transfer pathway. There is some additional paperwork that we have to do, but that's not an issue. We can get that done because it may be one class you're interested in doing like tech support, IT, and you say, I want to take a CIS, Intro to Computer class, that's CIS 110 class. That is on the CTE pathway, which it is a transferable course. You can take that as well as the other side, social maths that you're taking. Okay, any questions?
Okay, so now we'll talk a little bit about just some general things to keep in mind about being in this program. We've already reviewed what the program is about. It's Career College Promise, we call it CCP for short, that allows you to take these courses. Another commonly asked question is, what is the cost? So, told you it's tuition free, I already told you pay the fees, okay? And you pay the cost of books unless you attend McMichael, Moorhead, Regional Rockingham. There is a grant, a collaborative grant between the Rockingham County Schools and RCC, where your textbooks are currently paid for. So if your child attends any one of those schools, all you're paying is fees. So it's a sweet deal, okay? If you are, I didn't see a hand if anybody was in any of the CTE pathways or not. Did we have any?
Well, let's see.
Yes, I think there's a hand in the
I
back.
have a web tech in here and just web tech. So you'll be taking care of your books. Just know that your class is online, I think. We'll make sure you get your books. All the books are going to go to the high schools, to the counselors. So we'll make sure that you get that.
That's how much we love you. We're gonna bring them to you. You don't even have to come and get them, okay? You don't even have to come get them. All right, so next commonly asked question is about transportation. Unfortunately, there is no transportation to campus, so if you have a class that is here, then it's up to you and your parents to get you to and from your classes each day or whenever they happen. Can my child just enroll in college classes? The answer to that is no. You must be enrolled in high school, working toward high school graduation. We are required by the state to get high school transcripts each semester to make sure you're doing just that. So you can't just do college classes, and you can't, because we've had some students in the past, you can't just say, hey, I'm going to do college classes, but I'm not going to do high school classes. Because if you do that, you're not making progress toward graduation, and you will be withdrawn, because we've had to do that in the past, okay? How classes are structured. So basically, set up for our classes are, they're going to either be fully online, meaning you don't have to come to campus at all. They're going to be seated. They may be hybrid. Most of ours are hybrid, meaning that there is a face-to-face section, but all of our classes have an online component. And then we have what's called virtual synchronous, which is like what happened when we were deep in COVID, where everybody had to go in at a certain time and Zoom in. So that's the format of our classes. Now, how many of you are enrolled in more than one class? Just show of hands, okay? So each teacher, each faculty person has their own syllabus. So you're going to have a syllabus for each class, which means never how many classes you have, that's going to be that many different requirements. So it's your responsibility to know what the requirements are for the class. So on their syllabus, they'll let you know when assignments are due, they'll let you know what the assignments are, how much they count toward your grade, but you are now officially college students, so you have to be responsible to what the syllabus says.
Just to add to that, when considering the structure of the class, with the high school classes, we know that you all go off of a bell. as far as getting to class. The expectation is for you to be in that RCC class, whether it's on our campus or on your high school campus, on time, okay? So, I know that you like to communicate in the hallways with your friends, but when it comes to this class, because your tardis can count against you, if you pay attention to your syllabus, the teachers have sometimes tardis equal absences. So that's one thing to be mindful of, to consider that please do not be late for this class, and that it's very important that you attend the class every day. We know things may come up, but again, that's what we just re-emphasize, that you communicate via email with your RCC instructor. That's the only way they're going to communicate with you, is through your RCC email, not your RCS email. So there's going to be your responsibility to make sure you check that daily, okay?
Of giving extensions, and I didn't get this in, your college instructors, they're not going to allow that unless it's an extenuating circumstance. So you must get your assignments in on time, okay? Which calendar does my child follow? They follow both. They're like Ms. Galloway and myself. We have a foot in high school world and a foot in college world. So we have to adhere to both calendars. The significance of that is there will be times when RCC is open and RCS or whatever your school is closed. But if RCC is open and if it is a day for you to have class, you're expected to be at your class. Okay. Now, the next few talk about having to be out of class. So Ms. Galloway has already mentioned communication. You have to miss class, you have to communicate. Inclement weather is a big time when RCC may open and RCS doesn't. It's just because the factors that govern RCC opening is different from the schools. But again, if you have a class and that class is scheduled to meet, you are expected to be there. Now, we do not want you slipping and sliding. And your safety is important. So, if you can't with this inclement weather, it's your responsibility to contact your teacher and say, I can't come. All right? So now the good news, I will tell you this, the good news is that a lot of our faculty here, they don't like being out in this mess either. So with this inclement weather, they will most of the time give you an online assignment. But you have to make sure that you're checking email and the Moodle that you're going to learn about shortly to find out what is expected of you. Sometimes they'll just give you an out-of-class assignment is what they call it. Okay? Then we got extracurriculars. We'll talk about extracurriculars.
I know that you guys often have college tours that you may go on, or some type of field trip with the school. The students seem to think, or in the past, I'm not going to say that you guys are going to do this because I don't think you will, but in the past, students have seen and thought that because it's a college tour and it's a school function, I can automatically miss my class. That's not the case, okay? If you need to miss your class, please make sure you communicate with your instructor. Not the day of the tour, not the day before it. Prior to, when you sign up to participate, that's when you need to make your instructor aware that you will be out of class that day. They will make sure that you are in a situation where you're okay with being out, give you an assignment, or make sure it's or tell you that it's your responsibility to stay on task and turn in anything that you may have missed.
If it is a test or something to that nature, your faculty person will work with you, but it's worked out between you and that person. And they say, okay, you got to be out, but you need to get this assignment in before you go. Or they may give you an extension to a certain day. But you have to work it out, okay? All right. So please make sure that you do that. And some faculty will follow up with me just to make sure, and I have to consult with the school to make sure that you're telling them the truth, okay? Not that you all would tell them the truth, but just some things we've experienced in the past, okay? So in January, so this is a big time. So as you know, first of all, who is not from Rockingham County Schools? Okay, may I ask your school?
Bethany.
Okay, Bethany. Well, Bethany is kind of follows the same schedule as RCS, yes. Community, okay. So I think community schedule is more like the college schedule, because I think your semester, and I think you're done with your fall semester in May. I know, Bethany's year long, or are you all year long? Okay, year long, Bethany's year long. Rockingham is semester, but your semester does not end until January. Our semester ends in December. So that means those of you who are in classes in the fall that decide to continue to take classes in the spring, your college classes will start before your high school fall semester is over, which means that there's a real possibility that exams and college classes are going to overlap. So we know that. We've dealt with that for years. That's another one of those situations where what do you do if that happens? We've said it several times. What do you think you do? Communicate. Let them know. They know that that's a possibility, and we're going to work around that as much as possible. Okay? Now, the good news for those of you that are taking classes at your high school. So, currently, we're teaching classes at McMichael, Rockingham, and Middle School. So, show of hands of who's taking classes at their high school. Okay? Still a college class, taught by college instructors, still the same expectations in terms of your class. But the good news is you won't have to worry about that overlap because they're scheduled to begin when your spring semester begins. So it won't start until after your spring semester begins. So that's the benefit of being in those type classes. Okay? Can I call instructors to ask questions or inquire about my child's status in class? Short answer is no, you may not. In this brochure that you got, this handbook brochure, there's a section that says FERPA, and that's Family Education Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. And basically what that act says is that once the student enrolls in a college class, regardless of age, their record is their record. So you can't just pick up the phone or email just like you do your high school teachers and say, I want to know what he's doing or what she's doing. The first thing that they will tell you is, I've got to check to see if I have a release form on file. So students, you can complete one that grants permission for your parents to have that access. But without it, the faculty person isn't going to talk to you. Okay? Now, typically the students like that, but parents, guess what? FERPA does allow for there to be communication between the college and the high school. So we can talk to the counselors. We can talk to the principals. So you can always know what's going on.
If there's ever a reason that you may need to, or concern that you have about your student, and you need to contact me, because I'll be face-to-face with the school, you're welcome to schedule an appointment with me, via phone, face-to-face, or Zoom. So another thing that you can do is just ask your student, because after today, when you leave out this session, you're going to go to the technology session. You can ask your student, let me see your grades. Every student we use Moodle, sort of like y'all's Canvas thing to put your classes and your grades. So parents, you can always ask, let me see your grades, and check them out. Students, if you ever have an issue with your grades, and you think, this is not right, something is wrong, it is your responsibility to reach out to your instructor to say, can we go over our grades? Something does not look right, okay? That is not the time for you to come to me and say, she said I ain't passing, because she or he shouldn't say anything, and you should know, okay? Your responsibility is to make sure that you take care of that. As I stated earlier, one thing I want you to be mindful of is on your course syllabus. Your different components in the class, your quizzes, discussion board posts, chapter tests. They're going to be a certain percentage of your grade. So, if you miss a big test, a chapter test, and it's 60% of your grade, but you turned out your discussion board post in, but your grade is not where it needs to be because you missed that test. So just make sure you adhere and complete all assignments, every last one of them. Just think because something is 10% of your grade, it don't matter if I miss it. Yes, it does, because it will bite you in the end, okay? Because then you have your exam that's going to count a certain percentage. So just make sure that you complete all of your assignments. And that's, again, parents, where you can kind of see, because it'll be some good old zeros in there, the assignments are incomplete.
So my child has an IEP, can he or she receive accommodations? If you have an IEP, you know that you have an IEP, and individual education plan that would allow you to have things like extra time on assignments or tests in a separate area. The biggest thing, the main thing I need to say about that is that if you have that, it does not automatically transfer over to college. The back of your Q&A is a document that talks about the difference between how things work in public schools versus post-secondary. You have to self-disclose that, and you have to do that. There's paperwork you have to do each semester, and our accessibility counselor would make sure that your faculty are aware of whatever accommodations that you need. Is tutoring available? Yes, it is. We have a tutoring center called ARC here on campus. For those of you doing classes on the high school campus, the good news is that within those classes, the teachers have pretty much built in some time for you to get some work done. Because most of our classes here are like 50 minutes. Your blocks are 90 minutes. So they've structured your classes so that you can have a little time to get help and assistance within the class. So that'll help you out some. How do students receive grades? So at the end of each semester, I send a roster to each faculty person teaching a high school student. They send me letter grades, numerical grades. I look at them, make sure everything looks right. Mainly like if they have a 90 and a B, that doesn't equate. You got to make sure we got the right grades. Then I send them to each high school, and then the high schools will have those on your high school transcript, and also on your report card. So that's how you get the grades. But you can also look where to see grades. No, somebody's listening back there. You can also look at Moodle to see your grades. But yes, that's how the grades will be sent to the high school. Now, if you are, I don't think we had any homeschools in this session, did we? So the grades also go to community, and they also go to Bethany. Anywhere we have a group of students to attend classes, we send the group grades. Okay? All right. Transcript. So there will be times where you will need a transcript. Do we have any seniors in this group, or is everybody juniors? Any seniors? Okay, a couple of seniors. So the time that you're going to need a transcript will be here sooner than later. So I know in a typical school setting, you would go to your guidance counselor to ask for it. So Ms. Galloway we get a lot of requests for the transcripts. However, college we don't do that. It goes through the records office. If you go to the records office page, there's a little section that you can have. What is it called? Helpful hints, I think, something like that. And you look under there and you click on how to obtain a transcript, and it gives you the records. Now, transcripts in high school are free. At college, they are not. They're $5 a transcript. Okay? And if you request an electronic transcript, it's an extra fee for the electronic processing. So they don't come from us. Now, we believe that every single student in here is going to do fantastic in their classes this semester. If, however, something happens, because sometimes we have the unexpected, and you need to withdraw from class. Please keep in mind that you cannot just withdraw. So because you are an RCC student, Ms. Cheryl, when you go over there, she's going to ask you all to sign up for the Eagle Alerts. So you're going to get emails and alerts about things such as last day withdrawal, and you'll think, okay, well, I'm just going to drop the class. You can fill out the form and everything, but you won't be dropped from it. When you fill out a withdrawal form, it's going to route to either me or Ms. Galloway, whichever one of us is serving as your academic advisor. We're going to consult with the high school. Always a better. We're going to consult with the high school. Some of you are in this college class because it's counting as one of your blocks of the day. Some of you are in college classes because they are fulfilling a graduation requirement. So you can't just drop the class without having something to fill the place. So we're going to always consult with the high school about whether or not you can withdraw from that class. Okay? So please be mindful of that. Did you want to add anything in regards to that? Okay? All right, and then that's it for our little overview at this point in time. Do you all have any questions about anything that we did not cover? Now is the time. Does everybody understand their schedule? I think we sometimes get questions on the schedule because the schedule can be a bit confusing. Does everybody understand the schedule? So there'll be different start dates. So for this group, some of you will have a start date that says August 15th. So that means on August 15th, that's when your classes begin. Some of you will have a start date that says August 29th. That's when your classes begin.
Whether you're seated or face-to-face, face-to-face or online, you have to complete that required enrollment assignment. If you do not complete that required enrollment assignment, you will get dropped from the class. Okay?
All right, so let me check to see what the status is with the tech session. If they're ready, then we'll switch you all over.
Alrighty, so my name is Cheryl Evans. I'm the technology specialist here at the college, and then we have Howie Stacy up front here. Howie and I both work in the technology support services area. So we're going to first start out by giving you a little information. So if you have your phone with you, or if you have a pen, you want to write down some information, you want to write down this next information. We have a tech support number and email address that you can call to reach out to us if you're experiencing any issues. The number to reach us is 336-342-4261, extension 2877. Someone is at that phone from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Friday. The email address, tsshelpdesk@rockinghamcc.edu, is available every day, Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. Now, on Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays, several of us are on call. We will respond to you within, usually within a couple of hours, but we do say in an email it might be up to 12 hours before you get a response, but typically not with us. We usually see it and we go ahead and just take care of it. So when classes begin, if you have issues or concerns or questions, please feel free to reach out to us by using either one of these methods. We are more than happy to assist you. Now, I know we've been in here for a little bit and the computer screens have kind of locked again. So for those of you who the screen is locked, press Control-Alt-Delete. And the password is on the board here to my left. It says password and it's capital A, capital D, capital V, 102%, 2022, little ADV. You'll type that in, and how we put it on the board here as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started now that we've got everybody with a username and a password. So once you get logged in, and it's on the board over here, I think Howie just erased it there. Paste it back in there, Howie. Yeah, it's on the board up here if you haven't typed it in. Yeah, it's all right, just take your time. It's kind of hard to type, I think, sometimes too, so. And as my granny used to say, you have to hold your mouth just right too sometimes. Good job. Good job, good job. Thanks for helping out your friend there. All right, looks like everybody's in. Okay, great. All right, so go ahead and click on Google Chrome. We're going to start by going to the RCC website. Our website is www.rockinghamcc.edu. As you start typing it, it may just pop up because we've used this lab several times today for orientations. And your screen should look very similar to Howie's there. Once you get logged in the upper right corner, if you'll click where it says My RCC, this will take you to our portal page. You see we have a student portal, employee portal, and retiree portal. So we're going to be working in the student portal this afternoon. So if everybody will click on email, and it's going to pop up with you where some other folks have logged into the screens today. So you just click where it says use another account. Then your screen should look like Howie's here. Now, for those of you who have the folders and already have some labels on it, open those up. And inside you'll see a white label on the right-hand side of the folder that has your ID number. It has your username or part of your username, and then it has your password. Your username is your last name, first initial of your first name, and then the last 4 digits of your student ID at students.rockinghamcc.edu. That altogether makes your username. So if you will type that in, last name, first initial, last 4 digits of your ID number at students.rockinghamcc.edu. I've seen some folks in earlier sessions, once they typed it in, they took a picture of it. That way it'll help you remember when you go home this evening, oh, that's my username. So in case you forget, we're all about clicking the phones. Once you click next, you're going to put in the password that either I or Howie gave you earlier, or the one that is in your folder there. It starts with your first letter of your month of birth. Make sure you put the capital letters where they're capital, the lowercase where they are. So you'll type that in. So it's your birthday, percent, your initials, and then the last 4 digits of your ID number. Then once you type that in, you should come up to a screen that says more info. We'll hold right there for just a moment to allow everybody the opportunity to get there. All right, go ahead and click where it says next on the more information screen. And then it's going to ask you to put in your cell phone number. When you put in your cell phone number, no dashes, then it'll send a text message to your phone, and you'll put in the code that they send you. All right, go ahead, if you have next on your screen, click next, and then you click next again, and then done. All right, so just to let you know what we did there was we require a way to authenticate who you are, and by setting up your cell phone is allowing you to get that code and put it in so other people can't have access to your account. You will need a cell phone to be able to access your accounts here at the college. Now, we are working on something that we will be selling in the bookstore called a token, which you can purchase, and then it'll give you access to that. I'm not sure what the costs are going to be because we haven't even gotten a quote on it. So for those of you who couldn't get logged in today or we had an issue, before you leave, make sure I give you my direct extension so that I can work with you once you have your cell phone with you and or someone else's, that we can get you set up on that, okay? All right, so if you are in your email now, you may have some little boxes that's popped up. You can just go ahead and close all of those. You may have a little orange box also. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can click Outlook. It's a blue icon on the left-hand side, and this will bring you into your RCC email. Now, we know you have a high school email account, but you also now have an RCC account. When your instructors here at the college email you, they're going to email you at your RCC email address. They're not going to send it to your K-12 account. So you think, oh, well, I'll just forward this account to my K-12. Well, Microsoft doesn't allow forwarding of emails anymore. So you're going to have to be responsible for checking both email accounts. So it's going to be up to you to check this and check it periodically. When you log into your email, you'll see your emails in a list in the second column. Once you click on it, it'll open on the right-hand side of the screen, and then you can review what the email is. If you deem it not pertinent or it doesn't apply to you, you can click the little trash can and that will delete your email there. That way you can keep your emails clean. There's a setting that we need to change that Microsoft sets that we've asked you to change. So if you'll click the gear, which is in the upper right corner to the right of the question mark, you'll see where Howie's moving his mouse. Once you click on that, at the bottom it says View All Outlook Settings. If you'll click that, in the middle column, you'll click Compose and Reply. So click View All Outlook Settings at the bottom of the screen, and then click Compose and Reply in the middle. Once you click compose and reply, scroll down till you see reply or reply all. Make sure yours says reply. Once you click reply, you will need to then click save, and that will save your changes. That way when you reply to someone, it'll just be to that person, and then you can choose whether you want to reply to a lot of people, just depending on the situation. Okay? Now, once you make that change, you can close that window. And then in the upper right corner, you'll see it says new message, and it's in blue, yellow or orange color, I think, for most of you. Howie's is blue, that's what I was looking at. If you click new message, it'll come up, and I'd like for you to send me an email. You can type in my name, and it's spelled Cheryl Evans, Evans. Now, as you're typing, you'll see several Cheryl Evanses. You'll choose the one that says evansc@rockinghamcc.edu. Once you click on that, it'll add my name to the to list there. So when you know who your instructors are, that's how you will type in their name, and it will come up, and you would just send an email to them. On the subject line, you can put hi. And in the body of the email, you can put hello. Across the bottom, you've got your fonts, your font styles, bold, italics, and you got emojis. Everybody likes a good emoji every now and then. So you can choose an emoji if you like.
Yes.
And then you can click send, and the email will send to me. Make sure when you are sending emails, you do not send an email like you text. So as you think about that, you know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody knows, because y'all abbreviate a lot of letters, like LOL, as how it's put up on the screen, no LOLs. Make sure you spell out the words so that the person who is reading your email will know what you're talking about, okay? So everybody hit send on their email. Sometime before I go to bed tonight, I am going to respond to all emails that were sent to me today. And in that email, it's going to have instructions on how to change your password. It's going to give you instructions on how to install Office 2019, which is free to you as a student here at the college if you need it. And I will give you instructions on how to set up email on your phone. Now, you may not want to do that. I like having it on my phone because I can just look at it and see if anybody emailed me. It's better than logging in every time in a web browser, but that's up to you. But I will send you those instructions. And over the next few weeks, you will get a lot of emails from me and the Office of Technology Support Services because we'll send out different things about what's happening, what's going on, and things that students need to know at the beginning of the semester. Anybody have questions about your email? Feel pretty good? All right, let's log out by clicking on your name in the upper right corner. And then do sign out. And once it says that you've signed out, you can close that tab and the next one, and it should bring you back to the portal page. And then now we will, once you're back at the portal page, you may need to close one more screen if you haven't done so. Click on Moodle. Now, the college uses Moodle for all of their classes. You use Canvas at the high school. Now you're going to use Moodle here at the college. So we're going to go ahead and log in. So if you'll click the login, there's one in the middle and then there's one in the upper right corner. Either one works. You can select your name. But remember, when you go home, your name's not going to be there. So you're going to need to type in your username at students.rockinghamcc.edu. Then you're going to put in your password. It's going to send you a code. You'll put in your code. And then you should be logged into your Moodle account. And if it asks you, do you want to stay signed in, just say no again because you're on public computers. I see the screen popping in, that's a good job. And again, if you ask the question, do you want to stay signed in, you can say no. So Does everybody see their name on the screen? Across the top, you'll see Howie's name is up at the top there. Click where it says dashboard. And then there's where it says Moodle Basics. If you will click on that for me. I'm going to ask you to click on Enroll Now once you click the Moodle Basics. So Howie, move your mouse again where it says Moodle Basics. So click on that. And then it says Enroll Me. Once you have Enroll Me, you should have a welcome page right here. And by clicking Enroll Me, this will give you a free Moodle Basics little tutorial that you can go through at your convenience. So between now and when your classes begin, I would encourage you to go through this. It's going to be very similar to your Canvas that you used, but this way it'll allow you the opportunity to make sure you're familiar. Now, on the first day of classes, your faculty members will work with you in helping you get through the Moodle. Again, you can always call our help desk if you have questions. Now, if you'll click My Courses that is located in the upper right corner of your screen, the next time you log in, this is the screen that will come up for you. And you see your Moodle Basics is there now. When classes begin, either on the 15th, the 16th, or the 29th, depending on what classes you're taking, that's when you're going to see your courses. So if you'll open your folder and look on the left-hand side, you should have your RCC schedule. When you pull it out and you look at the very bottom, it should list your courses. You might be taking a COM 231. You might be taking a Spanish class. You could be taking a CJC class, a welding class, safety class. It could be many different classes. But it will tell you when the start date of that class is. Some of yours say 8:15. If you have some classes that have 1450 on the end of their name, that means it's a 14-week hybrid course. So that means you'll have some online and some with an instructor. So as you're looking at that schedule, does your schedule make sense to you as you're looking at it? As to when your classes start and what classes you're enrolled in? Is everybody seeing that? Yes, ma'am.
When it says virtual and online, does that mean that like some of it's on Zoom and some of it's like?
Yes, exactly. Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Her question was, if it says virtual sync, what does that mean? It's gonna be like through a Zoom session, and then you'll have an online portion as well. And the date on there, that's when, the date and the time are there, that's the time that you may need to make sure that you're logged in. Now, online is 24 hours and 87 days a week, but make sure you're following your deadlines as to when things are due there, okay? Anybody else have any questions? All right. So to log out, at the top of the page, there's a log out right below your name there. If you'll click log out, and then you can close that tab. And we have one more thing, and then I'm gonna let you guys be free for the afternoon, where it says Eagle Alert. This is where you can sign up for emergency notifications here at the college. So if the college was closed, we'll send you a text. If we're having a drill, we'll send you a text. It's not required that you sign up, but we encourage all students to sign up under that. So as you scroll down the page, you'll see where it says New Sign Up. Before you fill in anything, uncheck voice at the bottom, so it won't call you. But then you'll fill in your first name and your last name. You'll put in your cell phone number, area code, and number with no dashes. And then the email address, you can either use your high school email account or you can use your RCC username at students.rockinghamcc.edu. Then when you do the password, it has to be 8 to 15 characters, uppercase, lowercase, and a number. If you can't think of anything, you can use your birthday, and Howie's going to put a format up there. He's got it highlighted. You can put your birthday in that format with an exclamation point, and it will work every time as far as the password. So once you hit join, it should come up, and blink for a second and then it'll mean that you have now signed up for the Eagle Alerts. Your parents may sign up for this as well. You can share this with them and let them know that they can sign up and receive text messages also from the college. If you're having problems logging in with it, let me know. Howie and I will be more than happy to help you. If it came back to the main screen, you're good. You can close your browser window.